Okay, here's another drawing activity to kind of help you just loosen up and just get into the practice of drawing. So you can take a pen, pencil, marker, whatever tool you have, and just decide, don't write that down, not to erase. So sometimes I feel like if I have a Sharpie and I can't erase, then I don't have to worry about it as much. But if I have a pencil, my brain says erase, erase, because you have an eraser. So I'm going to go ahead and get a Sharpie, and then that way I don't have to worry about it and I can start. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to fill my page with boxes that don't overlap. But I want my boxes to be different sizes. They can be rectangle, they can be square, and you just fill it with different sizes of boxes and leave some space in between, but not really big gaps. So how you fill that space is up to you. You'll notice that you'll see certain spaces and you'll be able to kind of imagine what size box to fill in that space. But you just want to fill the whole page with boxes. Lots and lots of boxes, not just one, not just two really big boxes, but boxes. This kind of reminds me of a gallery wall or a salon wall in a house where you hang picture frames and organize them in a way where they fit into a space, a bunch of little squares inside one big square. But it can be rectangles, it can be squares, odd shape. There's a longer one, and I can have some horizontal squares. Portrait, landscape. Okay, so now that I have all my boxes that are here, then I can just start each box playing with different kinds of lines. So maybe I have curved lines and I want to do some thicker, thinner lines. I'm just filling in each of these boxes. I can do some of the other art elements like shape. So in this one I've used line and shape. And then I can have some areas with really dark value. With a Sharpie, it's hard to get value because you can't control the shading. So the closer you put the lines, the darker that it would look, or the thicker the lines are and the closer together, the darker they appear. So that would be a darker value. Every other line, you could do lines really far apart to make a lighter value. Different directions to create movement, so that could be value and movement. Those are two. That's a principle of design and an element of art. I could just wander around inside these boxes like one of those snake games. I would have lost already though, because I ran into my own tail. But now this one, now that I have all these lines overlapping, I've created shape, because shape is just closed lines. So maybe I find some shapes within that tangle that I want to fill in with a different pattern, or maybe I want to fill them in completely, or maybe I want to add color to that. I can do that too. But you're just filling in all of these boxes without thinking too much about pictures or images or things that you want to put in there. I'm just seeing what happens. Maybe you have a box where most of it, since it's so small, you don't have to fill it with very much for it to look complete. And then maybe think about in the next rows or the boxes next to them, if I were to imagine this line coming down, where would it come back in? And I started with that line. Then I start to kind of think about maybe connecting these boxes. Like there's a little piece that's cut out. And I try to copy the style that I had before, or maybe adapt it so those dots are all different shapes or different sizes now. So a variation of the same idea. So fill up the boxes and see what happens. I'd suggest a marker or a Sharpie or something that keeps you from feeling like you have to erase, just so that you can stay in a stream of thought and just kind of go with the flow, literally.